So recently I bought a few things from the drugstore. Are you sitting comfortably? Hello people of YouTube, happy Sunday. Today I am going to be filming a drugstore haul and first impressions video, and these are some of my favourite videos to film because for one, they require absolutely no prep whatsoever and I get to just spill things on my face and not really think too much about what I'm saying other than my first impressions, and two, it means I get to go out and buy loads of stuff. So everyone's a winner here really. You get my first impressions, I don't have to prep, and I get to go shopping. So the first item I picked up is one that has been around for a very long time. It's the Maybelline Instant Anti-Age, the Eraser Eye Perfect and Cover Concealer. Really long name, interesting product. It's got a spongy bit on the end and it releases product, which is quite interesting. Looks really gross and loads of people moan about how it's completely unhygienic, but in my opinion it's just the same as having a doe foot applicator on a concealer, so I'm not really too fussed about that. It's a little bit gimmicky, but I like it. It looks interesting and I've heard so much about this since I started YouTube and never really picked it up. I was not really that fussed, and recently it's had a bit of a revival and everyone's been talking about it, so I thought that I would pick it up. So I have the shade Light in this and I'm just gonna dab it under my eye. This feels really weird. I feel like there's a very small area to get product in with this giant sponge. So I've just applied that under my eyes and I'm blending it out with my Real Techniques setting brush. And I think even though I got the shade Light, I could have gone a shade lighter for a slightly more brightening effect, but it's actually quite nice. It reminds me of the Origins Plantscription Concealer, which I really, really love and I haven't used in a very long time. I'm just going to dab a little bit on my red areas as well and see how it does with those. I don't think this is really one for blemishes, but I quite like the perfecting look it gives to the skin. It does give a really lovely finish. It's not too cakey, but it is quite yellow for a concealer, which I find quite strange. So that is it for concealer. That one definitely gets a thumbs up from me. I find it very oddly satisfying to squidge the little sponge applicator against my face. But moving on, I'm going to be using a new brow product today. This is the L'Oreal Brow Artist Plumper, and this is very similar apparently to the Benefit Give Me Brow, which I've just run out of and I'm desperately seeking a slightly more affordable replacement. So I'm going to give this one a go. It's meant to be very good at kind of plumping out your brows, so adding like little fibres to them, and it's also meant to be very good for keeping them in place. I have to say that I'm not so keen on this one. I filled in my brows before I started filming using a powder product and it seems to have moved that around a lot. It seems to just have kind of made one brow look slightly heavier than the other. I'm not sure that I'm so in love with this. I will keep testing it out and report back, but so far not really loving that one, and I actually feel like it feels like my skin has been like tightened around the area from the product and they feel very crispy. On first impressions, I think I'd rather repurchase Gimme Brow than continue using this. Next, I'm going to be moving on to eyes, and I recently picked up something that I've been looking for a very long time, and that along with the Maybelline concealer had been impossible for me to find in Brighton, so I had to go outside of Brighton to find it. I picked up the Maybelline Colour Tattoo 24-Hour Leather Effect cream eyeshadow, and this is in the shade Creamy Beige, which is a beautiful kind of taupey beigey colour as it says on the tin, and I'm really excited to try this out. Lots of people have said that they really like this one, not so much with the actual more coloured ones, but this one in particular is really lovely. So I'm looking forward to testing this out and seeing if it lives up to the hype. So I've got a little bit on my finger. I'm just going to apply that to my eye. So that is Creamy Beige on my eyelids. I like the feel of the product and I really like the colour actually. It's a very nice kind of everyday nude brown. It definitely doesn't look like anything special, but that's the thing that I actually really like about this. I think there should be more products from the drugstore that are really suitable for every day. There are so many that I try and they're just really not appropriate for kind of daily wear, and the colours just aren't right for me and all of that kind of thing. So I really like that. And then I'm moving on to another kind of nude eyeshadow kind of thing. This is the L'Oreal La Palette Nude Beige version, so not the rose one. Wasn't too keen on the rose one because I'm not so into pinks, although I'm tempted to try it. But this one is its beige counterpart, which looks an awful lot like the Naked One palette on the inside. You've got kind of like a blue and then lots of kind of just natural, really lovely kind of taupey, goldy colours. It really does look gorgeous, so I can't wait to try a few of these. I'm going to apply them over the top of Creamy Beige, and I'm not sure what colours I'm going to use. I think I'm going to go for the lighter pink shade over here that's a little bit shimmery, and then go in with the darker pink kind of in the outer corners, And then maybe just a matte kind of purpley colour, maybe in the crease, something like that. So I'm just taking the second pinky shade in on a tiny weeny detailer brush because this is the only clean eyeshadow brush I currently have left. I'm just sweeping that all over the eyelid. I have to say, although the finish of these are really lovely, I think they do lack pigment just a little bit. So I'm going to go in with the darker pink, which is the third on the right, and hope that this one has a little bit more pigment to it. So those are my pinky shades on, and next I'm going to be using the kind of dark warm brown next to the dark pink. And I'm just going to take a little bit of that on a Zoeva Luxe Defined crease brush, which is very long and very, very good at blending. I've been using this a lot recently. So I'm just blending that through my crease, and the one thing I have to say about this palette is that the eyeshadows do blend really nicely together. So that is eyeshadow done, and despite the lack of pigment, I think that's a super pretty palette, and if you're looking for an alternative to the Naked One palette, then I'd definitely look into picking that up. So I'm going to get my liner and mascara on before we get around to the last category, which is lips. So now we're moving on to the final category, which is lips, and I have two new things that I wanted to show you today. The first one is the L'Oreal Infallible Lip Liner in the colour Ultraviolet, 701 Stay Ultraviolet, which is a very kind of Kylie Jenner lip shade, and I thought that I would pick this up because it's something that I've been looking for a lot in the drugstore, and I haven't seen anything really like it apart from the Rimmel liner in East End Snob, so I thought that I would try a different alternative today. So this is an almost plummier version of Rimmel East End Snob, which is very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury lip liner in Pillow Talk. It's a very similar consistency in the way that it applies, but the colour is definitely more plummy, but so far I really like this. So this one definitely gets a thumbs up from me. I really like the colour and the consistency of it, so definitely check these out if you're looking to invest in a new drugstore lip liner. And then we have a lip pencil that I've been looking to try for a really long time. These are the Maybelline Colour Drama Intense Velvet Lip Pencils, and this is in the shade... What shade are you? This is 140 Minimalist, and it's a very pretty kind of pinky nude colour, which I've been looking to try for so long, and the Brighton Boots just has no Maybelline stock in. Like, the counter there is always completely bare, and I went in there the other day and they just happened to have so many of these. But this is the one I wanted to try out the most, so I'm going to give this a go. So I'm not sure how I feel about these. I don't like the smell. It smells really fruity and it's kind of overpowering. And this one actually has glitter in it. Well, it is shimmer, but it's really big chunks of shimmer, which I'm not so keen on. I don't know if I like this one. I'll try a few more out and get back to you, because lots of people have said that the Maybelline Colour Drama lip pencils are like the NARS Velvet Matte lip pencils, and so far I'm not feeling these. So that is it for my drugstore haul and first impressions. I hope you guys liked this. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Make sure to subscribe if you are new, and I will see you guys on Tuesday for a new vlog.